Well, good morning. Today is our third episode of Creative Connections 3, and I'm really excited to have on set three amazing entrepreneurs, also a co-host, Carmine from Wise Media. Carmine, just say hello to everyone.
Yeah, hey guys. Welcome to the third episode, and just for some background, my name is Carmine Piero. I'm the founder of a marketing agency called Wise Media, and today we'll be going over a few different topics if you want to go over those too.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Now I'll start off by saying that we, in the last two episodes, have learned that in order to have an entrepreneurial business, you always have to have this mission where you're looking to solve a problem, something that you're passionate about. Then you design an extraordinary experience. You get together with an extraordinary team, and then you get to know your customer and tailor the things that you do and what you need to do to make it an addictive, scalable solution that gets your business going. And the most part of it is the agile of finding other entrepreneurs that you can work with and learn from, other shortcuts that you can do, and what I call honorable plagiarism, where you can work together and copy something that's worked well and share that success story. But one of the biggest ones that I like beyond mentor and coaching is the opportunity of understanding in a startup, in a career as an entrepreneur, income stability is very important. And today I'd like to introduce the guests, the expert speakers. We have Christine Monfriese from Rum Cakes. We have Mr. Collins Acheampong, and he's our financial advisor. And of course, Evelyn Bailey from Enlightened Arts. And I'd like to start with Christine introducing herself as we go through this wonderful episode.
Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Christine Monfriese, and I'm the proud owner of Monfriese Rum Cakes, which is an online bakery specializing in rum-infused desserts.
Collins.
And my name is Collins Acheampong. I am an independent financial advisor. I am the owner and founder of Brookdale Financial Associates.
Evelyn.
My name is Evelyn Bailey. I am the founder of Enlightened Arts. And I'm an artist, full-time artist, traditional artist my whole life. I have basically taken my business and my passion for technology and merged it to a technology production company. So I'm happy to be here and just wanted to right off the bat thank Spark and the whole team and Carmen and Dino for having us here to share our stories and to share a bit of our experience.
Well, this is exciting. Really happy to hear that. I wanted to start right off the bat because we talked about something, and that was, how do you get sustainable income? Can an entrepreneur create a career and be able to make enough money to sustain their livelihood? And what are some signs that your income is stable within your business that you've learned? And maybe I'll start, Evelyn, since you've got the microphone, I'll start with you.
Absolutely. Well, for many who do not know my story, and I'm pretty sure that many who hear this podcast may be hearing about me for the first time, but what I found was my first proof of income stability as a single mother of twin boys who just moved to Niagara Falls from the GTA, starting on welfare. The first sign of income stability for me was being able to get off the program and being able to produce, to be put through the program, the financial business course with Niagara College. And through that system, being able to develop a business plan at the time for my own personal art. And from there, being able to execute it for a year and develop enough income to be able to actually get out of the program and to be a success story even for the welfare program and everybody who just backed at the time. So that was my first little taste. And from there, it's just been, going up and down and up and down. But it's obviously success is not a straight line, but the evidence was there right off the bat, and it's continued to be there ever since.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that it's up and down. It's you go up and it's a valley down, but you've been consistent and you've been resilient to be able to stay the course. Collins, same question, please.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to say is pretty much the one way it's basically having a positive cash flow over a period of time. Like she said, it's always going to be up and down. But at the end of the day, you must have enough positive cash flow for perhaps more than, I don't know, 6-7 months out of the year, the only way anybody can know the health of a business is through the cash flow projections. That's how we judge. Like, that's how I judge my clients. That's how I see my business. Being able to make sure that I have enough money to cover my expenses is the one way. And obviously, at the end of the year, even when you're still, trying to perhaps trying to survive, that through your statement, you can see that, you have certain projects or certain clients that are on the back sort of waiting, and you know that there's money coming in. But at the same time, what it does is that it tells you, how much you can spend. It gives you like a wiggle room, right? So that's pretty much the only way, I would say, it's your cash flow statements. And that's why it's so important to have a professional help you with your, bookkeeping and other financial statements.
Christine, I'd love to hear from you, and then I'm going to pass it on to my colleague, co-host here, Carmine, the next question. But go ahead, because you've gone.
Right. Well,
you've gone through a lot.
Me, prior to what I do now, I was a city bus driver for 10 and a half years. And what I do now, it was a side hustle for many years. So, these cakes that I make now, it's something that I made for clients on a part-time basis. And while I was a bus driver, it got to a stage where I no longer wanted to be there. It was a stressful job. I was making good money, great benefits, but I didn't want that to hold me hostage. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to call the shots. I wanted to be my own boss. So while I was working there, I started to do some research on how to be an entrepreneur. How can I leave this 6-figure job and make it on my own? And it took me about 2.5 years in order to accomplish this. And I exhausted all of my savings, made the move from Mississauga to Niagara region in 2019. And, part of that plan was definitely building a business plan and knowing that I will have enough funds to last for at least, say, a year. But I have reached the stage where I have exhausted all of my funds. Sales weren't coming in. I've had to take part-time jobs just to keep up with the bills and to stabilize my life and to keep a roof over my head. So by all means necessary, I did whatever it took. But I have no regrets of what I've done, and I am going to make it and build my empire. And that's it.
I really appreciate I really appreciate the candid that it's not always an easy thing just because you start your lemonade stand or your baking goods store that you're going to make money right away, right? So please, Evelyn. Yes, this is open mic. Yes.
So I also wanted to add to your earlier statement because, yes, while I was doing my thing, the one thing that actually got me to try if my business plan was going to work was the cash flow projections. When I showed that to the college, they had to look at that as is this going to work? Can we trust that we can let this girl try this for a year and see if this business is going to actually take off? And so it was specifically while the dreams were there, the connections were made, it was 100%. And as an artist, I had to take this on as something that I had never really embraced. My mother told me about Excel sheets forever. And so finally, I'm opening Excel sheets and I'm working out the numbers and I'm actually getting excited. I'm starting to get excited with the possibilities, with these projections that, are no longer in your mind. They're now on paper, which is the first step to actualization. So it was really exciting. And so to really emphasize, I think, all of our points at the end of it, it's our financial projections that give any hope in anyone who's supporting us, from any institution to any investor. And without it, we really, as entrepreneurs, we really cannot go anywhere. It's technically the springboard to any of our businesses. So I just had to say that.
And that's really good. It's good timing for Carmine to talk about that, because cash flow and business plan is really important.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
That's awesome, because the next question we wanted to ask, what are steps we can take to make sure our income and our revenue is more sustainable and actually consistent and something we can rely on?
Well, I guess I'll go. I'm just going to stick with cash flow. It's so important because one of the things you are going to see is we all know it. A lot of the times it takes longer, depending on what kind of business you're in, especially if it's service-oriented. Service-oriented businesses are very different from selling the product. People go online, they pay for a product, it gets shipped, whatever. But with service, it's very different. And what makes it different is sometimes you're waiting for a month. I had an opportunity to be in a business a few years ago, and one of the mistakes I did, was we didn't have enough cash flow. So we will send in an invoice that needs to be paid. Like I will give my vendors like 30 days. There were times where we were waiting for like 3 months for money to come in, right? And so you've got to, what I call, like the mortgage industry, when you're trying to get a mortgage, they stress test you. You got to stress test yourself. One of the things I like to do, people don't like that, because what does is that it makes people more uncomfortable. If you know you're going to need $10,000 every month, like a rule of thumb, like what we call a rule of thumb for savings, emergency savings, you must have 3 times your income. So if you make $5,000 a month, you must have $15,000 sitting somewhere. It's the same thing with your business. If you know you're going to need 10 grand, you must have at least minimum 3 times that money sitting in your bank account. So you're not waiting and trying to figure out how you're going to make it through, and you have difficulties. And one of the things too is that sometimes it becomes a distraction, or it becomes a barrier to some of the projects we want to take, because we put it on hold, and it affects our operations, right, of our business. And what happens is that we're not able to sort of pull through with some of the projects that we need to take our business to the next level, because we don't have money come in. And we're afraid, what do I take a loan? What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. Do I dip into my personal savings? Whatever it is. So I will, again, I cannot overemphasize how important it is to have a cash flow. And the last thing I will say is that you must have someone helping you, updating your cash flow, because again, you might have a receivable that's going to come in, but then it's not due. It's not there yet. So what do? You have to pay yourself. You have to pay your vendors. You have to cover your expenses. You can't put your phone bill on hold. You can't put your whatever software you're running on your computer to run you can't put it on hold. You got to pay it. And so it's very crucial that we make sure that we really do have someone who can really help us, to just have that projection and make sure that we have enough. And then the last thing I will say is that there are many opportunities for business owners, small business owners, to have some sort of alternatives to making sure they have enough funds, right? And there are, I'm not gonna, I want to be careful what I say here, but there are alternatives where you can have sort of a plan B. If you don't have enough cash flow, where are you gonna go? You must have that. There are many options out there for small business owners, and I think the right way, or the best way, to always have someone, a team around you who will give you that kind of advice, so that you can make sure that no matter what happens, right, your business is always running.
I love that. It comes down to being kind of like organized and using resources, I think, that are available. Absolutely,
right. It's the bedrock of your business. Business cash flow projections. I have spent twice what I wanted to spend this year in my business because I got it wrong. But I was lucky enough, I have some funds that I could dip my hands into, because I don't want to borrow, right? And if you have to borrow, the other thing too is you must know sort of the interest on the loan that you're going to take. Sometimes it's not the right thing. It's not smart to borrow. Sometimes it is. But how do you know which way to go? And that's why you need that kind of guidance and direction from a professional.
Exactly, like a mentor, someone you can rely on. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts, Evelyn, or?
Yeah, I was going to right away echo, you mentioned it, Carmine, as soon as I was about to say. Mentorship is also, I think, like, yes, guidance, and you can have professionals. And a professional, while it can sound intimidating, professional, I got to get an accountant. For some people, that's so intimidating, and all it can look like is a mentor. And the way that you can look at a mentor is very simple. For anyone who's ever played sports, or who's, mastered a club, like a chess club, or who's done anything, you excel when you have a coach. You have someone who's going to show you to do what it is that you want. That, you're going to strive for something, and they've done it. So they're the person that's going to show you how to do it. So a mentorship is very, very much the same. It's finding someone who's achieved something that you desire, and then asking them and only them and trusting only in their guidance on what steps to take. Because the other thing is we can have too much mentorship and too much guidance, and we can really start to trust too many people with our business. And that's where we may get conflicting advice, which could stall and delay. And so I think that the most important thing is to find a mentor, whether that mentor can then source you to people that they trust in the financial sectors, in the planning, in the marketing, in those other areas, because they're going to attract their own kind, which is someone that we cannot attract just yet. We're not there yet. We don't have that trust. We haven't built that, that rapport, that community yet. And so when we have a mentor, we tap into their resources as well, which is literally like getting the bold and the book and the formulas. And so guidance looks just like mentorship. And to me, that's been the second part of like the bedrock to my business as well, is having a mentor that doesn't only check me in business, but checks how I'm doing emotionally, checks how my heart is doing, checks how, because when those things are falling apart, it's almost inevitable that the business will fall apart too. So it's also important to have someone who really does care as well about you, and then pay attention to their habits, to their behavior, and to the way that they deal with things, because that's also going to influence how they teach you. And sometimes we'll go through mentorships that won't work, and you will find that you trust someone and then the outcome isn't what you desired, and that's okay. It's never a waste of an investment. It's the exactly perfect lessons that you needed to learn to be able to continue to attract and find the person that is primed for what we have there. And there is someone out there, unless we're trying to create something that's never been done before, which is very difficult. But when we literally stick to the formulas that have been laid out for us, which have taken centuries to develop, we can literally follow those formulas and achieve success. And some of us try to, take the path less taken, which, I've done network marketing, I've done a lot of business, I've got a lot of experience under me to have the confidence to approach people in business, even with my dreams. And, you learn how to really deal and how to grow and how to take experience. Every interaction is an opportunity for the business to learn what works and what doesn't. And so mentorship is so crucial. I would say it's up there. Until a business is able to take off completely on their own, they're going to need an entire team even to be oiling and just doing all the things that allow for us to feel like this business will succeed, because I feel ready, and not like we have to feel it inside of us as well. If there are parts of us, and I will end off with saying this, a mentor can also look like a self-development coach, someone who's going to develop your mindset. Because if the mindset is not there, it really doesn't matter what business you try to create, it will fail if your mindset is not in the right place. So there's so many things that I just said, but I will, I've gone through it all. I've done entrepreneurship for probably 10 years, if not less, and I've failed most of those years. But you learn how to really absorb people's knowledge and wisdom. We're all here to share. And if you can find someone who's willing to share their wisdom and knowledge with you, be a sponge. Even if you know what they know, just say no, I don't know, and let them teach you from that raw place, because they're going to give you some gold that you were waiting for. And that's the gold that's going to be the first stone to your empire. So yeah, that's crucial, mentorship. Woo!
That's amazing. No, I want to add to that, because you're right. If you think about having a collaborative, inclusive environment, you want to be able to have folks that you can reach out to, other entrepreneurs, maybe those that have succeeded and those that have failed. But I've seen some want to go to a life coach or someone that can give them a bit of the mindset, the growth mindset. Because to be an entrepreneur, you have to have a growth mindset. And that's where I want to, that leads into a question for Christine from me, and that's, how do you do customer development? You know how difficult it is to get that customer to like your wonderful rum cakes, which we can't get enough of here. So.
Oh, well, fortunately, I was able to open a brick and mortar for a short period of time in the thick of the pandemic. And for the few months that I was opened, I got the foot traffic there, I got the sales, I got to meet so many people. And then when we had to close, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do something else. So I pivoted to online. And the only way to try to get it out there is like my product, it sells through word of mouth. So I'm out there at every market possible. I advertise online as well. But it's that personal connection and having that sample right there and just seeing the expression on their faces after they taste the sample. You know, you want to promote and sell a good quality product. And, you know, when they, you know, I have word of mouth exposure, that definitely helps my business. So it's just being out there and communicating with my customers what they like or what they didn't like about the product. Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And what I like about that is that what you're saying is you have to be adaptable to the different situations. And what I've heard here is that you do need a good bank. You do need a good advisor. You do need a good mentor, a good coach. You do need someone that you can reach out to for the accounting, because you can't do it all yourself. And that's the beauty of working together, either in an innovation space with an ecosystem or close with other entrepreneurs. But I do want to have a question that's going to be asked to you by Carmine, because he has gone through the COVID-19 scenario, and that's something that's really affected a lot of our businesses here in Niagara for sure.
Actually, I love that you mentioned pivoting to digital, because that was a really big thing in the last 2 years most of us had to do, right? If you're a brick and mortar, you did a physical service, eventually you had to probably move online, do more digital marketing, sell online. So nowadays, how would you adapt and be more sustainable with market trends and different kind of marketing or market conditions?
Well, I'm a part of an advisory board and a bunch of mentorship groups. And I also, you know, view and see what is online, what's out there. And you can get lost with the amount of information that's out there, right? And you just got to stay true to yourself, to your product, to your business. So as a one-woman show, like doing everything from the baking and packaging and my own social media posts and so forth, which is time-consuming, but you want to make sure you get everything right and that you're, you know, sharing your brand, you know, and being true to it. So when it comes down to like the right font and the pictures and the colors and everything, you try to stay as true as possible to your brand. So I'm going to be at a total loss here.
Well, that makes sense, like publishing content online, using social media, so kind of taking advantage of all those channels that are out there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, so I will say everything that you've said. The only thing I will add really is just like myself, I have to be online. I do a lot of things on my own. But this is where I think we need to have part of our plan is automation. You can reach 1 million people in a day if you really want, but obviously it costs money. And so what I will say is automation it's huge in our world today, and you know it's possible someone could be sitting a part of the world that 20 years ago wasn't possible because of technology. And one of the things is being efficient in your operations as a business owner, regardless of what you do. And the key is having the right people around you. You got to have a marketing person. It's got to have a strategy. It's got to be, turned around. And I do realize, like you're saying, many of us, on stage of our businesses, we do a lot of things on our own. There are opportunities where I'm able to show, like I can show a business owner, some of the, things that they might not be aware, where we can, get more money into the business so that we can have that aspect of the operations, passed on over to a professional where they can come up with a really robust marketing plan, right? So again, yeah, you've got to have, we all use different, I remember talking to Evelyn when I came in here, like, I'm just waiting for a few things. There are some things that I do on my own that I will love not to do it. But I gotta get to that point where I feel like, this is it. So 3 years ago, in my first business, I made a mistake when I was doing my taxes, and it cost me. It came back to haunt me. It cost me about $4,000, and I said never again. So I had a friend. I said, hey, you take over my bookkeeping. I have the knowledge. I can do it, but just one tiny mistake, right? And so just find a way. If it's going to take you some time to raise that money, you've got to find a way. You've got to find a way to have the right people put in the right strategy for you. And there are anybody that will watch this, whenever they watch it, you don't have to feel intimidated by how much it's going to cost you. I know there are resources out there, but again, your ultimate goal is to get to a point in your business where you have, a marketing consultant, whoever, put out a strategy for you that they can constantly take care of that aspect of your business for you. You can easily outsource so many parts of your operations to the right people, and that will bring efficiency to your business, and that's also going to be part of the process of accelerating your growth. So that's the one thing that I do want to add. But again, it all comes to automation. Anything that you can automate, go for it.
Yeah, I love that. And it goes back to once you actually have the consistent revenue and income, then you can invest it back into your business. And I agree, automation, delegating, like hiring a team, even if it's contractors, that's something you have to do to kind of take some things off your plate and scale to the next level. Sure. Now, over the past couple of years, we've realized that you have to really adapt to the market, trends, and things changing. So how in your business have you been able to do that over the past couple of years and moving forward?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this question. I think that this, to me, is like the answer is my cherry on the top as to where I am today. So being an artist, and a lot of my stuff was traditional. Prior to actually being traditional, I have a degree in the art of animation. So during my studies, we learned 3D modeling and a lot of technological programs so that we can see both ways. You go into gaming or you go into making Disney films, or we have two paths. So technology was a part of my education. It's a degree program, so we were pushed to learn. And being able to have some of that experience of taking an education program who did emphasize technology, because as you know, Toy Story and all those films had 3D modeling, so that was like the new thing. So because of that, when COVID came and my, doing live paintings and all this live workshops, live experiences, when those could no longer happen, period, like at all, and Discord and all these other things came out, it was my opportunity to just say, well, I am technology based. I have a background in technology. So, my business, all the businesses are going online. So how can I continue to serve? I've understood people's weak points. I know the problem. I know new businesses, old businesses are going to try to keep up with the metaverse and with all the things that are technology. So how can I service people to help them stand out, to help them compete, to help them really be seen in this new digital era? And so with technology is where I decided to also take an opportunity of other Plan B options in financial income, and that was to apply for a grant, which is what brought me to Spark. And I was able to get a grant. I got a grant that allowed me to completely level up technology. So now it's like, okay, it's all in or nothing. It's technology based. It's still art. So I managed to keep my business as an artist, and now working to a platform that can be automated. It could have all these advantages, being that every asset that I produce is a digital format. It essentially, NFTs were one thing that I could adapt to. I mean, there's everything that we could adapt to if we played on the digital platform. So being able to keep up with the times was literally just embracing technology. It was one of my biggest, it was most exciting thing for me was to say, if I run a digital company, I can't just have any type of technology either. If I want to stand out, if I want to actually do what I do as a traditional artist and stand out and provide unique assets to people as digital files, my technology has to also level and match that level of quality. So here at Spark Innovations, I've been able to utilize those resources and the funds that I was given specifically to technology that they do not have, and then continue to play with technology that is available to see how my business can continue to innovate through technology platforms. Because to me, like I said when I opened up this conversation, I'm a digital geek too. I'm an artist, but I love technology. I love, I could have been an artist for video games. Like, that's pretty cool. I could have been creating the worlds that people come and fantasize about. That's the skill set that I have. That's the world and industry I came from. A very select few who even graduated. And you graduated knowing that you can take your skill, and especially when you digitize it, like animation is taking paper, flipping it, and drawing a new sketch. And the moment I caught on to technology, I was trying to example paper. I'm like holding my round table. Anyways, it was a lot of ancient traditional approaches to doing art, and one change of the finger, you throw away like 500, like 10,000 drawings. And when I started dating someone who right away got into technology, he got his computer that you can draw directly on, it actually super speeded the digital animation process literally in half. We didn't have to take photos, we didn't have to do the whole traditional approach, which then allowed for my production to allow me to finish my film, which was very unrare when you graduate because it takes so long to do the productions, and we were given 8 months to do a production of 2 minutes. So technology at a very young age was my way to accelerate my art, to accelerate the outcome of my visions. I didn't want to have to wait a week to see this manifestation of an idea, nor did I have to, because technology was there. And so now, super speeding process, now I have clients and I can turn things over in 2-3 days because technology is allowing me to produce, as well as scale in ways that, I'm not trying to find talent that is like me, but I'm trying to find those who understand technology, who can help me automate, who can help me organize, and who can help me scale, so that this isn't just based off talent, but also based off of the benefits of technology and adapting to that. So yeah, I get really passionate about it, as you can tell.
No, exactly. And kind of going back to even Colin's point, it just accelerates your business, your marketing, how you hire and automate. And as we begin to wrap up, and before Dino comes back in, where can everybody find you and on your Instagrams or websites?
Yeah, so I go under Brookdale Financial. So I am on Instagram. You can find me. You can find my company. You can type my name, Collins Acheampong. Same on Facebook, Instagram. I have a personal, and then I have the business side as well. So Collins_financial advisor on Instagram. Facebook, my name. You can actually find my company as well on Facebook as well. And as well Twitter. I use Twitter as well.
And for my company, we are on social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. So it's Monfriese Rum Cakes, and we do ship our rum cakes worldwide.
So if everyone's watching, it's very simple. I'm going to give you my Instagram, and from there you can have access to my website and all the other platforms. But just follow me, check me out, get to know me a little bit, see who I am, what I do, what I'm about. And then if there's an opportunity that I can service you or someone you know, definitely just hit me a message and I will respond probably within 24 hours. The handle is, and I'll say it slow so everyone who's live can just like do it and find me now. It's Eva, EVA, Bailey, like the drink without an S, Bailey Art. Eva Bailey Art. Find me on Instagram, Eva Bailey Art. You can Google it. And I'd be happy to gain an extra couple followers. That would be nice, because that just shows that could lead to potential more income stability. So thank you so much, everyone.
Well, I want to thank everyone here. This has been an amazing learning lesson for me, and some of the golden nuggets that you've brought out in the conversations that I think we can bring back to our own businesses or to our own colleagues. But I want to thank you, because we are still in what I call conditions of uncertain markets. The future, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's a recession, it's important that we all work with and through each other, no matter where we are, whether we're a diversity situation, whether we're an underrepresented group. I think when you're an entrepreneur, you are someone that has a lot of internal, what I call intestinal fortitude, enough strength to make it through and be resilient. So I really thank you for all of this great sharing that we've done here as a team. I want to thank Carmine for being here. And above all, remember, there are a lot of support groups out there, whether it's a small business center, a bank, your legal team that you work with, consultants, mentors. Reach out. Do not be afraid to reach out. And I wish everyone a great day. And I want to thank our sponsor, TD Bank, Startup Canada, Spark Innovation, and also, of course, Startup Niagara, which is starting to grow quickly here. And thank you very much for being here.
Awesome. Intestinal fortitude.
Yes.
I've never heard that.
It's old, I guess. Eh?
Yeah, awesome. Are we still live?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Again,
Yeah, thanks for everyone. I just do want to say one last thing.
Oh, yeah.
These are all the strategies and ways to achieve your dreams. At the end of the day, we're all heroes in some way. We're a miracle that we're alive, that each one of us is here is truly a miracle. And there's truly a reason why we're here. And we can turn that vocation into monetization. We can monetize our purpose. And when you realize who you're here to save, who here needs you, there are people who are probably, that could be dying if they didn't have you here. Your business may have a purpose, and you may realize, then you ask yourself the question, what would I do? What can I do to save that life, or to become, or whatever that looks like, to fulfill my hero-ness, or where's the special school of those ordinary people like me? And then you'll start to attract the mentorships and all those things that we described. But we really want to look at it back to the basics of who we are. We are all heroes in some way. We're saving some, whether it's emotions, we're saving someone from sadness, whatever solution. For me, I feel like the best businesses are the ones that are here to serve others, that are here to help. So you're a hero and you're here to serve somebody, and you could be the Gandalf helping heroes, but either way, we all have potentials. Yes, that's my geek mind. We're all superheroes in our way, and this is why my business is like everything to me. It's the way that I can express my superpower. It's the way that I can save lives, and I can be seen and be visible and do good in this world. So if you have the heart of a hero, then you're designed to be an entrepreneur. You just got to believe a little bit, and then just go for it and get that elixir, and then understand the hero's journey. It's the same as in entrepreneurship. The hero's journey is exactly the same of a business, and so it's our own personal journey. So with that being said, go be your hero. Spark is an incubator for heroes, and I'm just really honored to be here, and I cannot wait to connect with everyone wherever that looks like.
Thank you. Anyone else want to close a couple of comments?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Not sure what to say. I mean, yeah, we're all heroes. There's always, I'm a man of faith, and that's what drives me, and that I am created by God to serve. And so for me, it's discovering who you are, where your talents are. Once you have that discovery, there are people around us that will help you to get to wherever that you need to go. The key thing is, it's about everything that we do has to make a difference. There has to be an impact in what we do, whether it's rum cakes, whether it's an art, whether it's a financial product. And that's what I bring to the table. I take a 360-degree look at someone. You might think that you need $50,000. Yeah, but we need to figure out how you're going to pay that back. We need to figure out the interest on that loan. How does that affect you? We need to look at your credit. So a lot of people would just, do it and get the commission. I obviously will love, but if it's not going to benefit you, I will tell you, because I look at it, a 360-degree. Of course, and then we have to look at what happens when something happens along the way. How are you going to pay that loan? Do you have the right insurance in place? So by doing that, you're actually, doing more. You're bringing value. You're doing something that the ordinary person, going to a bank or wherever it is wouldn't get, which is what I bring to the table. And I think I go to sleep better knowing that I have given the right advice, even if I make nothing out of it. So it's about making impact. We're better together as a community, and this place is a perfect model of how it is that we can all be part of the ecosystem and bring where our gifts and talents are to the table and make that impact. The last thing I do want to say is that if you're sitting on the fence thinking about starting your own business, you don't have to. All you have to do is reach out. There's tons of resources, places that you can reach out and get help. There are a lot of things that I can do personally to help you with a business plan, getting set, blah, blah, blah. But don't sit on the fence. Just reach out and there's help out there. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Christine. I can't
say,
wait. This
as
is awesome.
Entrepreneurs, we're all dreamers. And it's angel numbers that got me to where I am right now. I was in a secure job, and it was angel numbers that I saw regularly, and I knew it was more than a coincidence. It was definitely a sign to push forward and become an entrepreneur and act on my dream. So for many of you out there, I mean, who want to take that step, yes, it is scary, but you have to take that leap. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to do it. And there's many support systems out there. Just go for it.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a wrap, everyone.